What's going on, guys? Super Insane 18 here, and we got Ben 10 to 2 on the last ban list, so this is a long time coming. I am going to be bringing you guys a Drytron deck profile, and I do need to give a couple of shoutouts. Logan JYA, check out his channel. I got this idea from him, as well as Jordi Abde for the Jordi Abde Lock that I'll be showing you at the end of the video. My build is a little bit different than the one that they showcased, but it was the inspiration, so just got to give the credit where the credit is due. Let's show you guys what we got. So starting things out, we do have triple copies of Alpha Thuban, which obviously triple copies of Zeta. These are the two best ones in the deck, so you need to max out on them. We have double Gamma and double Delta. This is going to be our Drytron name ratio. Now, I did actually consider running a third Delta, just because with how many rituals the deck runs now, the ability to just draw one is actually kind of crazy, and it really helps the consistency, which is something that Drytron used to struggle with. So maybe consider running a third. I just didn't have the room, but it was something that I teetered back and forth on for a while. Then we have 3 copies of Diviner of the Herald. This is one of the best cards in the deck, obviously just because you're able to search pretty much any ritual card you need, whether it be a monster or a spell, or later game you can send like an Amethyst to pop, and it works really well. Then we have 1 copy of Chaos Valkyria. This is a really cool extender that you're able to search off Benten. Now that we have multiple Bentens, we're able to do more searches, so this card just gets even better. Then we have our Artifact Scythe, because we are still Scythe locking our opponent in a really cool way, so we obviously need that. Then on to our Ritual monsters. We still run the 1 Natasha, but we did cut the Ida 10 because now we have 2 Benten again, thanks to the most recent ban list. Double Benten is really amazing for this deck. It definitely skyrockets the potential and the plays that this deck can do. Then we have a Megalith package with 1 Fool, and then 2 Ophiel. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my hands on a second one, so we'll just pretend that this is an Ophiel. And then 1 Bethor, and that's it for the Megaliths. And then rounding things out for the monsters, we have 1 copy of Drytron Meteonid Draconis. This is just a really big threat that your opponent has to deal with. Like if they hand trap you, you're usually able to still go into this. This acts as double pops, it can't be targeted, it's a really big attack, so they can't really run over it. Just a very good card to have. Then onto our spells, we are playing 1 of Called by the Grave, 1 of Drytron Fafnir, and 1 of Foolish Burial. That is it for the 1-ofs. Now this card I was really hesitant on, back and forth, because this card loses really hard to Droll and Lockbird. But the thought process here was that the new combo that you want is Nova and Zeta. So this is essentially just a 4th copy of Nova. And in games 2 and 3, you can side it out. I don't think anybody's really maining Droll. Honestly, a lot of people aren't even siding Droll, but I would still take it out in the games 2 and 3 just in case. But I feel like game 1, it's obviously, you know, like I said, just a 4th copy of your Nova. So game 1, I think it's best to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Then the controversial pick, we are playing 2 copies of Meteonid Drytron. A lot of people cut this to 1, a lot of people only ever played it at 1, but if you go back and watch any of my past Drytron videos, I've always played it at 2, and I think 2 is the undisputed correct number, just because of how many graveyard removal effects there have always been in the game. Especially right now, DD Crow is really good against something like Branded Despia. It's even decent against something like Sword Soul to be able to banish their Tenyis, and I don't want my Meteonid Drytron just getting removed. Not to mention your Zetas become kind of useless after turn 1, because they can't really search anything else since this is the only ritual spell we play. So by playing 2, we're able to maximize the usefulness of our Zetas and ensure that we don't just lose to any sort of graveyard removal. Then we are playing 2 copies of Preparation of Rites. A lot of people want to play this at 3, but honestly, you go through pretty much every single one of your rituals turn 1. So this is a dead card after turn 1, and I don't want to play dead cards in a deck that already struggles with consistency. So by playing 2, you'll see it when you need it and you won't when you don't. I think 3 is just not correct because it ends up bricking you more than it helps you. Then we have our 3 copies of Cyber Emergency, self-explanatory, just search any of your Drytron names. 3 copies of our Drytron Nova, 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Forbidden Droplet is something that is definitely necessary, especially when you're playing against something like Despia that's going to be able to set up the Masquerade and burn you to death, or the Mirror Jade that'll be able to non-target banish, or even the Guardian Chimera that can just blow up your field. And not to mention against Fluanderies, which is another one of the top decks of this format, you don't want to lose to the Barrier Statue. Unfortunately, your only other answer to Barrier Statue is to like normal the Diviner and send the Tis to pop it, but that's just really not enough. So I feel like Droplet is definitely mandatory. A lot of people are also maining Dark Ruler, but like I've said a couple of times in this video, because Drytron has struggled with consistency, I wanted to keep it at a 40 card main deck, and I just really couldn't do that by adding in all this stuff. If you look at Logan JYA's channel, if you look at Jordi's deck build, if you look at pretty much anybody else that's playing Drytron, it's all over 40, and I've tried over 40 builds and it just doesn't work for me. If it works for you, then by all means do it. I just wanted to keep it at 40 for consistency. And then our final card is going to be the Anti-Spell, which is an integral part of the combo. Again, I will show you guys that at the end of the video, but let's show you guys what we've got in the extra. So moving on to the extra, we have 1 copy of Elder Entity Natis. This is just a later turn a later turn option for your Diviner to send, just in case you need to out a problematic card. You can normal your Diviner, send the Natis, and get a pop. Then we have 1 Herald of the Arclight and 1 Baron de Flor. The Arclight, obviously mandatory, you send it off your Diviner to get a search of anything that you need, and the Baron is integral to the combo as well. Not only is it an Omni Negate, but it also lets you resummon monsters from your graveyard, which is very important. Then we have 2 copies of Mu Beta Fafnir. Now this is something that I was also on the fence about. I feel like 2 is necessary for a couple of reasons. One is if your first one gets stopped, then you can make another one on the next turn, which is arguably the most important reason. The second reason is sometimes just having it later game to be able to ritual summon more times using the material is also very important. But the card that I was on the fence swapping one of them out for is the Fuko. I can't remember its full name. It's like Kika Nagashi or something. I'll put it on the screen. But I would definitely consider maybe running one of those, because that card's actually insane. That card can't be removed by Mirror Jade. It makes it so that if you get hand trapped, you can sit on it as a wall and guarantee that you won't lose on your next turn. And then it's just a really good option for your Zeus package. So I was definitely teetering back and forth on it. Then we have an Abyss Dweller. This doesn't really come up that much, but I would rather, again, need it, or have it and not need it, than need it and not have it. You are able to make some relatively easy rank 4s, depending on your line of play, because the Ophio's a level 4, the Valkyria is a level 4, and this I just feel is the best generic level 4 there is. Some people play the Tornado Dragon, which kind of combos well with the Anti-Spell, because then they have to set all their stuff and you can Tornado Dragon snipe it before they can activate it. But I think just Abyss Dweller is generically the better rank 4. Then we have our Downerd Magician and our Zeus to finish off our Zeus package. And then we have the Beatrice. Beatrice is not only helpful for the hands where you only have one name, because you can force your way into it and then send another name and pretty much combo off from there, but it is an integral part of the combo that I'm going to show you guys, so definitely necessary. On to the Link monsters, we have our Link Karibo, our Artifact Dagda, and our Nightmare Phoenix. The Link Karibo and the Dagda are integral parts of the combo. The Nightmare Phoenix is just there for utility. Then we have the Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, the Boral Sword Dragon, and our Nightmare Griffin. This is the star of the show here. This is pretty much an auto loss for Despia, because they won't be able to activate any of their effects, and not even just against Despia, against a lot of things. It's just really useful to have. It lets you reset your anti-spell, which you'll see in the combo. It's a skill drain, and I just think that this card's incredible. 9 times out of 10, even if you can't full combo, you can still force your way into this and something else. And that's really all that matters, so let's show you guys what the combo is. Alright guys, and once again, before I show you the combo, I just need to give credit where credit is due, so shoutouts to Logan JYA. Make sure you go ahead and check out his channel, and shoutouts to Jordi and Abde for creating this combo. And let's show you guys what it is. So it's going to start with Nova and Zeta. The first thing that we're going to do is activate the Nova to summon out the Alpha from our deck, and then what we can do is we can take the Alpha and immediately link it away into our Link Karibo. Now we can use the Alpha that we have in our graveyard, summon it by tributing out our Zeta, and this will let us add a copy of Cyber Angel Benten. Then we can activate the Zeta, pitching the Benten to summon it from our graveyard, and this will let us add our copy of Meteonis, which will then also activate the Benten because it was tributed, adding us our copy of Diviner. Here we will take the Alpha and the Zeta and we will overlay them into our copy of Mu Beta, and Mu Beta will activate on summon, sending the copy of Gamma from our deck to the graveyard. Then we can normal summon out our Diviner and activate its effect, sending our Herald of the Arclight, which will activate the Herald of the Arclight to add us a copy of Ophiel. Now here we can start ritual summoning. We will activate the BANLIST Drytron, detaching either of the material from the Mu Beta, it does not matter which one, to summon out the Ophiel. Ophiel can then activate on summon to add us our copy of Megalith Fool, and then we can use the Ophiel effect to tribute itself to ritual summon out our copy of Fool. Fool will activate on summon, letting us add back our Benten from our graveyard, and then this will become a level 6. So now we have both Diviner and the Fool that are at level 6. Then we can activate the Fool effect, pitching the Benten to ritual out our second copy of Ophiel. Again, we'll pretend that we have it, and this will activate both the Ophiel and the Benten, so we'll chainlink one Benten, chainlink two Ophiel. Ophiel will add us our copy of Bethor, and Benten will add us another copy of Benten. Here we can take the level 6 Diviner and the level 4 Ophiel, and we can synchro summon them into a copy of Baron de Flor. Now, if you've noticed, I've been making my placements very deliberately, so we'll show you why at the end, but we need to make sure that the Baron is here and the Fool is here, or vice versa, as long as they're in these slots. But now what we can do, that we have the open space again, we can activate the effect of the Gamma Engrave, pitching the Benten to summon itself, and then the other Drytron name that we detached for our ritual summon earlier in the combo. This will then activate the effect of Benten, who will add us our Chaos Valkyria. Before we do anything else, we want to activate the effect of the Meteonis in our graveyard, lowering either of the two Drytrons that we have on field. It does not matter which one. We'll just say the Gamma for example's sake, and we can add our Meteonis. Now we'll take both the Gamma and whatever other name we have, and we will link those off into the artifact Dagda, and this is where we get our Scythe. We can activate our Meteonis here, chaining our Dagda. Dagda will set Scythe to our side of the field. Meteonis will let us detach our last material from the Mu Beta to specifically summon back out one of our Bentens, because we need a level 6 here. So now we have the Scythe face down. We can take our Benten and our Fool, which is level 6 because we used it earlier to add the Benten, and we can overlay these into our copy of Beatrice. Now, Beatrice here, we're going to go ahead and detach. It does not matter which material. I like to use the Benten though, and this will let us send our copy of Antispell to the graveyard. And now what we can do is we can summon out our Chaos Valkyria by banishing a light or dark. Let's just go ahead and banish the Arclight. Oh geez. We'll go ahead and banish the Arclight, and now we have our Chaos Valkyria on board. Now we can take the Dagda, the Valkyria, and the Mu Beta that has no more materials, and we can link 4 into our copy of Nightmare Griffin. Now, Nightmare Griffin on summon, we can detach the Bethor or any other card, because remember, this is a 2-card combo, but it is self-contained, so just go ahead and discard the Bethor to reset our anti-spell that we sent off of the Beatrice, and then because it's co-linked, we get to draw a card. So this card doesn't matter, it's just a blank card. Then we activate our Baron de Flor to pop the Scythe that we have set, and then we're okay to pass our turn. So what we're going to do here, this is our hand, we have the set anti-spell with this as our field. On our opponent's draw phase, we can activate the anti-spell. This guarantees that they're not able, my light just died, this guarantees that they're not able to like Droplet or Dark Ruler us or do anything, so make sure we activate this as soon as possible. I like to do it in the draw phase. Once we hit standby phase, we activate the Baron effect to shuffle itself back to the extra deck to summon out our Scythe. We need to make sure that we summon the Scythe in the zone that the Griffin points to, otherwise it won't be able to activate, and now we have our full board setup. Our opponent is under Scythe lock, they are essentially skill drained with the Nightmare Griffin, they cannot activate spells because of the anti-spell, and we have our Beatrice, which is good for the side deck because we're siding cards like Token Collector and Necroworld Banshee and just other powerhouse cards for this format, and that's going to be the combo. And there you guys have it, that is going to be my Drytron deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Once again, shout out to Logan JYA. Make sure you check out his channel, as well as Jordi and Abde for creating this combo. If you liked it, you guys know the deal. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share with your friends, and maybe consider supporting me on Patreon, because for just $1, you can support the channel in a way that I would never be able to tell you how much I fully appreciate. Also, if you wanted to donate to my Nationals Fund, my information will be on the screen and in the description, so I would appreciate it if you did that as well, but absolutely no pressure. I love all of my subscribers regardless. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.